Hey everyone, this is Chris Rempel from thelazymarketer.com. This video is called The Master Plan, and this is essentially the bird's eye view of my business. This is what I do to make a pretty decent living off the net. And this is what basically everyone does who is earning a full-time and beyond income via internet business. And there's some things I'm going to be sharing that are probably pretty basic, but for some reason, these are things that are hiding in plain sight, and people just don't seem to get it. So we're going to be addressing some of those things as we continue. When we all start out, this is what we're looking for. We are looking for that ultra secret, sort of instant push button success. The internet has this weird aura about it because it's this uncharted frontier. Especially when we first get into this business, we think, well, it's just so different and new and leveraged. You know, there's just all these stories in the news all the time of some 16-year-old kid who makes $5 million by selling this site to a big company. You hear that stuff all the time, and so the internet has this weird draw to it, and it sort of shuts people's brains off from logical thinking because you think that it's a sort of shortcut to wealth. When in reality, when you actually begin to learn about what makes money on the net and how things really work, you begin to see that really it's just fundamental stuff. It's just like it is in the real world, in the brick and mortar world, where things get sold, people buy stuff that they want, and that's how money gets made. And what happens after that is as they delve in further to the learning about internet marketing stage of their career as a budding, hopeful internet marketer, they become confronted with literally hundreds of different legitimate, viable ways to make things happen, to make an income. And the truth is that they all, to some extent, work very well. Some work better than others, some are easier than others, and so on. But really, just like the picture depicts below, you've got a whole shelf, a whole aisle full of options in front of you. And what most people end up doing is they end up stalling, or they end up trying to incorporate everything so that they get the most bang for their buck. And both of those things will lead to this. I should have changed the headline to the result of doing nothing or doing it all, because that's the reality. A lot of people, they either want perfection, so they try and incorporate all that crap into the same plan. It's hardly a plan. Or they just sort of give up, or they mentally implode. They think, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to learn all this stuff? When the reality is that all it takes is to find out what works and build a business around it. And by business, I mean a way of just providing stuff that people want and distributing it to them. And so that's been my master plan ever since I started doing well. And I had that same neurotic, sporadic, humble beginnings of wondering what the hell to do uh, when I started out as well. So market testing includes things like building mini sites, review sites, using software or articles, the MSN loophole strategy, and anything else really where you're just quickly deploying stuff into markets to see how well it pays off. You can pause the video if you want and read the different text captions and so on. But really, the main point is uh, with my business at least, I have these two segments. The market testing segment is basically for my own information. It does build up an income, and there is a fair bit of revenue that comes through with my marketing, by my market testing stuff. And that would include things like the conduit sites, the mini content sites, all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, it's pretty volatile. Some of those sites will do great for a little bit, then they'll sort of fall off the map, then they'll come back into the rankings and so on. It's all a big roller coaster. Now, mind you, if you have enough roller coasters out there, it sort of feels like it's consistent, and you can have this pseudo sense of reliability, which to some extent I guess you can rely on. I mean, I've had a lot of sites that are small and crappy, and they still produce sales every single day to this day. However, it's not something I want to bet the farm on. And so, yes, you can build a huge, huge network of small little mini earners all over the place. and you'll probably see a lot of results for several years. But that's not something that I would really call a business. It's a good way to get started. What the real purpose of doing all that stuff is to find out what works so that you can build something for real. You can actually build a real authority site that'll become a staple site within your niche. You can produce and release real products. You can recruit your own affiliates. You can build your own client base. You can do all that kind of stuff. The pros are that there's a huge payoff. This is something that can make you millions. It's something you can sell for millions if you're at that kind of scale. The cons are, of course, it's more work, more time, more involvement. But that is where you want to be. If you want to make real money, and I mean 10K a month plus, chances are you'll either have to just work your ass off doing market testing stuff, and you'll continually be trying to maintain that, by the way, or you converge over to the business building end of it and make things work for you. Now, I want to simplify it even more. With my market testing stuff on the previous slide there, I had a whole bunch of things. To be honest, I don't really do all of that stuff. I basically stick with one process now, which is building mini sites and review sites and using MSN for the same thing. So basically, I just stick to sites, little small sites in different markets to see how things convert and how much traffic I can get, and what kind of revenues I can expect for certain visitor counts, that kind of thing. And then if it really works out, I'll put it on the chalkboard for future business building. And so I'm in several markets with my market testing level stuff, but in the business building side of things, I'm only in a few markets because obviously it's a lot more work, but there's also more involvement with your client base. The thing is, though, I make way more from even just one of my businesses than I do from virtually all of my market testing assets combined. I mean, I've got two central business entities on the net. One of them is the lazy marketer stuff, by the way, and the other one is in another niche with more traffic. But from both of them, I far out earn the hundreds of sites and assets that I have in the market testing column. And so with with that in mind, and as you go ahead, all you got to do is find one thing that you like, whether it's submitting articles, or maybe you like the software method, maybe you like the MSN loophole thing, uh, which is just mini site marketing, maybe you like conduit review sites, whatever it is. Just spread it out. Just get into as many markets as you'd like to endeavor into to find out what you'd like to build a business around viably. This will show you what works, so you're not stuck building something that doesn't pay off. And that's the master plan. That's it. You can use pay-per-click if you got some cash because that's fast, or you can build tons of review sites and get the easier kind of sales through product research types of keywords, that kind of thing. That is the master plan, as I see it, for being the simplest possible way to profit from the web and make a fortune over time by building a real business. So in the end, if you really look at it that way, it is easy. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, maybe just leave a comment on the blog below. Or if you thought it totally sucked, you can also do that too. Just tell me that on the blog. Alright guys, see you later.